Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming a very big video. This one is a lot of pressure for me personally because you guys know I hate's a strong word. I really dislike doing favorites videos because it's like asking me to pick out like who my favorite children are, and it's tough, okay? So I just want you guys to know this is really hard. Also, disclaimer, I will probably forget to include at least 10 to 20% of things that I probably should have included in this video. But I also don't want to make it like, oh my gosh, I've talked about this product 80,000 times on YouTube. So I tried really hard to narrow things down, but I can't make any promises. All I can promise is that we're going to talk about some really good makeup, and hopefully you guys will find out some hidden gems or things that you've been wanting to try that I finally just like pushed you over the edge to go purchase those things. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Okay, before we get into my 2020 favorites, I just want to say welcome to my channel. My name is Karen Harris. I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on YouTube. When I first started watching YouTube, I had such a hard time finding reviews and swatches of new makeup launches on somebody with my skin tone, so I did decide to take matters into my own hands and started my own YouTube channel. If that content sounds interesting to you, I would highly recommend subscribing to my channel because I post every other day, and hit that post notification bell so you are notified every time I post a new video. Now, without further blabbering, let's get into my best of 2020. Okay guys, so I'm going to start off with this box. I honestly cut down so much stuff because I really wanted to just hit the best of the best of the best. So if I miss anything, I'm sorry. Let me know in the comments what your favorite products of 2020 is. You guys know I love to hear your thoughts in my comment section. I'm always down there reading you guys' comments. Even though I don't get to respond to every single one, I'm still keeping an eye on you guys, okay? So first thing, I don't even know where to start. Okay, so let me just say there are a few brands that really got me this year. So you will see some brands being repeated in different categories. That's how you know those are the MVPs, okay? Just want to provide that disclaimer. Okay, so 2020 for me was the year of Lethal Cosmetics. As far as indie brands go, I really got into Lethal Cosmetics. So I had originally picked up their Hive palette and I thought it was beautiful. I love the color story. If you guys don't know, Lethal Cosmetics is a German indie brand, and I heard about them back in the day when Angelica featured them in one of her Going on the Wishlist or Nah videos. I had a very bad habit with that video series that Angie does. I used to watch it every Sunday, which I still do, but the bad habit was that every time she mentioned something I hadn't heard about, I would go and seek out that brand and buy from them. It got a little expensive, don't get me wrong. Nothing to do with Angie, not her fault at all, but I was definitely buying a lot of stuff that she mentioned in that video. So I bought the Lethal palette, no regrets. But you guys know how fast brands are cropping up out of nowhere these days. So 2020, it felt like for me, Lethal really went for it. And I ended up on their PR list, and I am so freaking excited. I couldn't be more grateful. So anytime I'm mentioning a product that was sent to me, I will try and say it, or I will put it on the screen just so you guys know. Full disclosure, all of my affiliate codes and links are going to be in the description box in case you guys want to shop with those links. It does help me out. So full disclaimers there, okay? But Lethal announced that they were coming out with face products, and I literally wanted to shit my pants. Like, I was so excited because they sent us like previews of what the products were gonna look like, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't have my face palette with all the blushes. It's in this chaos somewhere in my room, but their blushes are so stunning. I just grabbed the two face palettes that I have from them because it'll give you guys a really good idea of what I'm talking about. But you can basically buy these pre-made face palettes, or you can buy the empty palette and then fill it up with whatever blushes, highlighters, or bronzers you would like. And oh my gosh, this is so stunning. The color selection, there's so many unique shades. I asked for this one because it has this gorgeous yellow highlighter that I wanted to test out on my skin tone. So I really like the Lethal face products. I have a video where I swatched all of these on my actual face, which was insane. I literally swatched blushes on my face, and I did like 80 layers of foundation. So that was really fun. But These are so good. If you guys are considering placing a Lethal Cosmetics order, I would highly recommend either a pre-made palette or buying some of their face products because they are so good. Another face palette that caught me off guard. This is the NARS Orgasm X Face Trio, and I have purchased so many NARS face palettes in the past based off of other YouTuber recommendations, and I felt like the quality was very hit or miss. So I didn't want to jump on this when people started talking about this and hyping it up, but I decided to request it when I worked with Look Fantastic. So this product was sent to me by Look Fantastic, and honestly, this highlighter on my tan skin tone is beautiful. The shade is called Orgasm Highlighting Blush Powder. So I don't know if they sell this individually or you have to buy the palette to own it, but this is so nice. And Orgasm X is like my kind of shade. It's like a corally blush color. I know a lot of people love the original, but I really like this new version that they came out with. And this is a really nice palette. I've seen NARS has come out with so many new things in the last couple of months. So I'm very excited to keep an eye on them in 2021. So I have to mention my favorite thing from my friend Samantha March's OFRA collab, and that is her bronzer. This is the River Bronzer by OFRA and Samantha March. Oh my goodness. Did I ever think that Samantha March was going to make a bronzer that would work with my skin tone? I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't, because we're such different skin tones, but this works so good for me. Do you guys see how much of this I've used? I mean, I don't use this all the time, and I still feel like I've made such a big dent in this, so I am so excited. OFRA and Samantha did send this to me, so I did receive this in PR, but it is a fabulous bronzer. It's my favorite thing from her collection. So if you guys are my skin tone and you've been wondering if this will work for you, I would highly recommend trying it out because it really is so pretty. I need to pull this out and use it as we round off 2020 because I haven't touched this in a while, but it's so good. I love it so, so much. Another OFRA face product that I would highly recommend for tan skin is this highlighter. This is the shade Bali, and I actually got a smaller version of this in their blush palette. They have like an Island Time blush palette, which is super beautiful, but I wanted Bali in its own compact as a full size because this is such a pretty highlighter shade. If you are a lighter skin tone than me, I think this would make such a beautiful like peachy blush topper shade on you. On me, this is such a stunning highlighter, and listen, I don't buy duplicates of products very often, but the fact that I bought this so I could have it in a bigger size on its own really says a lot to me. Okay, another blush that I am obsessed. Yes, I'm obsessed. I know we throw that word around a lot here on YouTube, but I'm obsessed with this blush. This is the Hourglass at Night blush, and oh my gosh, this blush on my skin tone is just perfection. I love burgundy blush shades on me, especially in the fall and winter time. So I really like this. Hourglass has an amazing powder product formula. From their highlighters to their bronzers to their blushes, they're all so, so epic. So I would highly recommend. I don't have a lot of their other face products. I do have another blush from them. I don't like that color, but this one, if you want just one blush from Hourglass, highly recommend picking this up. Okay, next I'm going to talk about a product that didn't start off as a favorite, but as we're ending 2020, it has slowly worked its way up to my top shelf of bronzers. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in the shade Tan, so the number 3. I love this for me in the winter time. I don't know what is in here, but it works so well on my dry skin, and it doesn't like make my skin look dry, which I really think is some kind of wizardry that's in here. So I really like this. I love that she made these refillable, so you don't have to buy the compact every time. You can just pop the pan out and get a refill. And honestly, I feel like this bronzer is going to last me forever. It's so, so pretty. I love this product so, so much. Okay, you guys didn't think I was going to talk about my 2020 best of beauty and not mention the Kosas bronzer. I fell in love with this bronzer and this brand this year. I have some beautiful, beautiful products that I love, love, love from them. But for the sake of this video and length of time, I decided to feature the Kosas bronzer. I have the shade medium. This is so pretty. This is another product I have 2 of. I bought it during the sale, and for some reason, I don't know why, I decided to keep them both. So I have 2 of these because I love this bronzer so much and it's stunning. 2020 was the year of face products for me. And the other Kosas product I have to mention, you guys know my beloved Kosas Tinted Face Oil. I'm not loving this as much for the winter time for some reason. I thought it would work really well in the winter because I have really dry skin and I thought an oil would give me hydration. But I've noticed this breaks up a little more because of how cold it is here. So I think this might be just a summertime foundation for me, but either way, it's absolutely stunning. It has some really good coverage, which is so shocking for me because I thought a tinted face oil would do nothing except just like apply some hydration on my skin. My friend Amy from Amy Loves Makeup has been raving about this product for me, and I was like, you know what, let me get it. If I hate it, I can always mix it in with my thicker, more full coverage foundations. And oh my gosh, I love this so much. This is without a doubt one of my favorite foundations of all time in my collection. So I'm so glad that she kept telling me that I needed to try this because it's so good. So the next bronzer I want to mention is the Gucci Beauty bronzer. This is so stunningly beautiful. You guys know I like luxury makeup, but I don't love like every luxury brand. I think I'm very partial to Pat McGrath. And I feel like now Gucci Beauty is slowly weaving their way into my heart. I don't try to purposely avoid luxury brands. It just is that they don't really appeal to me. I like Pat McGrath's eyeshadows because I feel like she has something unique and more fun compared to most of the luxury houses. But Gucci Beauty is one of those brands that I love because they kind of appeal to my contemporary aesthetic when it comes to makeup. I don't feel like they're making their makeup for old ladies. I'm not trying to be mean, but I feel like a lot of the brands like Chanel and Dior kind of cater to that more mature audience, whereas I feel like Gucci is more of the hip brand when it comes to luxury makeup. So I'm very excited to see what else they come out with in 2021. I wonder if they'll do eyeshadows, and I wonder if they'll do like really fun eyeshadows or something a little bit more neutral and demure. Like, I don't know. I feel like based off of just this packaging alone, I'm expecting some really bright pops of color when it comes to Gucci eyeshadow. So we'll see. I mean, their lipstick line is fabulous looking. I really want to try a Gucci lipstick, but I have so many lipsticks, you guys. I cannot justify parting with the cash right now, but I really like the bronzer and I'm very excited to see what they do next. Okay, I wanted to mention this guy. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Bloom. Now, Natasha Denona's face products are so hit or miss for me. I either love them or I hate them and I wish I'd never bought them. This one's definitely a love. I think this retails for under $20, so I would highly recommend if you like a bright coral punchy blush, this would be amazing, especially in the summertime if you're into something like this. And I love this size. I wish more brands would make things like this that are this size for a lower price point, because when am I ever gonna pan a blush? Let's be real. Okay, the coral obsession continues. Of course, I had to get one of these. This is the Glow Play Blush in the shade Groovy from MAC Cosmetics. I haven't bought anything MAC in a long time, but when I saw this color and I saw that it was like a putty blush, oh my gosh, you know my little heart started pitter-pattering. And so I did pick this up. This is a beautiful blush. It kind of gives you a airbrush kind of look to your skin. So I would highly recommend, if you guys have been eyeing any of these, I would pick one up. Okay, so there was a lot of blush that launched. I bought a lot of blush this year, from indie to mainstream, etc. But I'm trying to keep this list as concise as I can, and I had to mention the Patrick Ta blushes. Specifically for my skin tone, I really like Oh She's Different and She's So LA. Oh my gosh, these are so beautiful. This could be a bronzer on light skin. I think on my skin tone, it's a beautiful nude blush, and I really forgot how much I love to wear nude blushes. I recently did a collaboration during Vlogmas where I collab with my friend Amanda, Makeup Just for Fun, where I mentioned my top 5 nude blushes. I would highly recommend checking out that video. I also did a top 5 favorite eyeshadow palettes of 2020 with Yachty, and I did a 12 of my favorite lipsticks with Kelly. So I will try and remember to link those in my description box, because those products I didn't want to like re-mention in these videos. I will be mentioning some twice, but if you want to see more of my favorites from the past couple of years, not just 2020, I would highly recommend checking out some of those videos as well. This is the blush shade I have on today. This is another favorite for me in the fall time. This is She's So Different. I know a lot of people would be kind of scared of this blush, and I understand, you know, it's a little bit of a different color, but for tan skin tone, those are the two I would highly recommend. I do have his other two blushes as well because I bought the whole collection, and I feel like you can get those two shades anywhere. These ones are definitely the more unique blushes from Patrick Ta's line. Okay, I had to mention my favorite thing from Kaleidos this year. They launched some really beautiful eyeshadow palettes, don't get me wrong, but this Prophecy highlighter is so cool. And what I love about this is not only is it flattering on my friend Angie's skin tone, she's like a light medium skin tone, I can rock the shit out of this highlighter, and I did demo it in a video. I can't even remember which one I used it in, but oh my gosh, I feel like this highlighter for a multi-chrome is such a flattering shade. I know multi-chromes can be really intimidating because sometimes they go from like a pink to a green to a blue to a purple, and you look like a clown, which is fine. Some people love that look, but I feel like somehow Kaleidos managed to make something that was really eye-catching, but also in a weird way, kind of natural looking on the skin. So if I had to pick one thing that was my favorite thing that Kaleidos launched this year, even though I love their eyeshadow palettes so much, I would pick the highlighter because I just think it's so freaking cool. Okay guys, we're gonna mention some of my favorite cream products I tried this year. So I have to give it to the Glossier Cloud Paints. I tried a lot of cream blushes this year, but I just love the texture of these. They are truly like a watercolor. They have a little bit of emollients to them, so they spread really nicely, but once they dry down, they do not budge. So I really like this shade called Dawn. This is the first shade I bought. I had a subscriber send me this shade called Storm, which is stunning as well. And then they recently launched these two new shades. I have Eve and Spark. I think I wore Spark in a video recently, so you guys will have to keep an eye out. But for my favorite cream blushes of 2020, I'm going to give it to the Cloud Paints. And then my favorite cream bronzer of 2020 goes to the Tower 28 Bronzino bronzers. These I wasn't expecting to love. I did buy both shades because I wasn't sure, and honestly, I ended up liking the lighter shade. I think West Coast is the lighter one, and it just works a little bit better on my skin tone. The Best Coast one has a bit more of a red undertone to it, so it doesn't look as seamless on my skin tone, but these have such a good emollients to them. They spread really nicely and then they stay put. So I really love these guys from Tower 28. These are my favorite cream face products from Tower 28. Of course, you guys know I'm going to talk about the glosses when we get to the lip portion of this video, so spoiler alert on that, but I really like these bronzers from Tower 28. Okay guys, so let's get to the lip portion of this video. I'm trying to rush through these because you guys have heard me talk about these over and over again. First of all, I want to mention the Jen Loves Reviews OFRA collab. Jen so kindly sent me her collab, and OFRA also sent me a bunch of their liquid lipsticks. I have tried OFRA liquid lipsticks from Samantha's collection, but then I got way more shades from the brand themselves, and I had heard so many people talk about OFRA liquid lipsticks, but I don't think I'd actually owned OFRA liquid lipsticks until 2020, and true to the hype, they are fabulous. I would love to own every shade, I'm not gonna lie. I love liquid lipsticks. I know people aren't as ride or die for them as they used to be because they were way more hyped in like 2018 and 2019, but I still love them, so highly recommend the OFRA liquid lipsticks, and you can usually get these on a really good sale as well. The next lipsticks, I'm going to mention some bullet lipsticks. These are the ones from Lethal Cosmetics. They were on a roll this year, guys. They launched so many new product categories. I'm so proud of this brand, and I really like their lipsticks as well. These are so comfortable, so creamy. My favorite shade is Quest. Again, I mentioned this in my video with Kelly, so if you want to see swatches, head over there, but these are really good. The next brand, none of you are going to be surprised. I bought two lipsticks from Juvia's Place, and I just picked these ones up. The ones in the boxes are brand new. I love their nude selection so much that I want to keep adding to my collection anytime I can get them on a sale. I would love to see Juvia's do like a terracotta range. I would love to get some nudes, some brown nudes from them. So Juvia's Place, call me. That's all I'm saying. I love your lipsticks so, so much. And then tell me one YouTuber that hasn't mentioned Propa Beauty in their Best of Beauty 2020. At least all my friends have, and for good reason. I have swatched every single shade on my channel, so if you guys want to see which ones to get, I would highly recommend checking out that swatch video, especially if you have a skin tone similar to mine. I love these so, so much. Again, I don't love bullet lipsticks. Liquid lipsticks are definitely my favorite preference. But once I got my hands on the Propa Beauty, I definitely pick these up more and wear these more because they're so flattering. So I love these so much. Another brand, I cannot wait to see what they do in 2021. These are so good, and I do have a discount code with them. It's just KH Makeup, and you save money when you shop using my code. Of these lip jellies, these are the Tower 28 lip glosses, and I do not fuck with lip gloss, okay? I did not like lip gloss pretty much ever. I would wear a Kylie lip gloss every once in a while, but these ones changed the game for me. I've already panned the clear one, and I already bought a replacement, which is shocking. I just keep it on my desk and reapply it every time I'm feeling chippity chapped on my lips, but I just grabbed these 3 colors, but I have every color. I love them so much. Again, I have a lip swatch video of all the Tower 28 lip jellies, so try and peek at that if you guys are considering picking these up. I love the clear shades, and then I love the new milky shades that they came out with. There's a shade called Almond and Cashew. Those are more like the brown lip jellies, so I love Tower 28 so, so much. Okay, the next thing I want to mention is super random, and these products didn't almost make it into my best of 2020 because I've told the story before. These cream gel liners I got from Lethal Cosmetics, and I was like, oh, they're okay, you know, whatever. I don't usually do a lot of wing liner. Got all these beautiful colors, and I was like, cool, whatever. But then I heard Teresa is Dead mention how she used these in the waterline, and I was like, you know what? I really need to try it. And let me tell you, these gel liners have now graduated to my desk here where I sit and film, where I do my makeup every day. I have moved these to my top shelf, and I love them so much. I basically take a very skinny eyeliner brush like this, and I just throw it on in the waterline, and it works really well. It stays put. I love that they have some really nice pastel colors. So my issue with pastel liners like this is that they're really beautiful, but they don't last as long as these ones do in my waterline. So thank you so much to Teresa for mentioning that in her videos time and time again, because now I have just like a fabulous yellow. Like, I wear these all the time. I'm wearing these today even in my waterline. So I cannot wait. I hope Lethal comes out with a ton more colors. I will fly to Germany and wrench them out of their hands if I need to, because I cannot live without these gel liners. They're so pretty, and I love to wear colorful liners in my waterline. So happy to have these and to be able to use them every day. Okay, so before I get to eyeshadows, I just want to mention some products that are newer favorites, but I still wanted to include them in this video. I don't have a ton of things. I just have a few items. Most of them are complexion. So let me start off with the Gucci foundation. I'm actually wearing this foundation today. I haven't worn this a ton. I think I've worn it maybe 3 times. And I'm not gonna lie, I really like this so far. It is a natural finish, and it is a liquid foundation, and I have the shade 340 Neutral, which I think I did a really good job shade matching myself. Now, the price of this is insane. You don't need to buy a luxury foundation to have a foundation in your collection, but I like it. It makes me feel bougie. I like the coverage. I love that it has that beautiful glow. I know I have highlighter on, but I still feel like it makes my skin look very glowy, very natural, and it's pretty long lasting. I can definitely get through a work day and then some with this foundation. So very, very excited to have this and to continue trying it out. The next product I have used a little bit longer than the Gucci foundation. It's the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Sexual Concealer. I don't know what this is called. The Sensual Skin Enhancer in SX11. I remember Manny raving about this back in the day, and I never picked it up. But then I had a Nordstrom note, and I was like, what should I get? And I figured, let me try this. So I got this for like 20 or 30 bucks, and it's so good. It's gonna take me a lifetime to get through this concealer, although I shouldn't speak too soon because I've made quite the dent in it. I love this because it doesn't dry out my under eyes. It's very creamy, it's very spreadable. I could use this all over my face if I wanted to. I could definitely see this being a foundation because it has a very natural finish, and I love that it actually stays put and it doesn't like crease and crack under my eyes. So I've been loving this so far. I definitely plan on continuing to use this into 2021. Okay, another foundation that is a bit newer, but I'm loving is the Huda Beauty. This is her stick foundation. I have the shade Biscotti. This is a 4 filter, skin finish, buildable coverage stick foundation. And I wasn't gonna get this, but I had heard so many people say how good this foundation was, and I was being stubborn because I'm like, you know what? I have all the foundation I need, blah, 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 blah. But then I got a Sephora coupon and I was like, you know what? Now is the time. So I did end up picking this up, and so far I really like this. I like this way more than her original foundation, which is shocking because I'm one of the very few people that really likes the original Huda foundation. And now I'm like, faux filter, full coverage, who? I love this. So I'm very excited again to continue trying this and telling you guys more about this in 2021. Okay, another newer favorite in the lip category. This is the Lime Crime Lip Blaze Butter and Glaze Liquid Lipstick. I have the shade Bud. I got this sent to me from Look Fantastic because I did a video with them. And then I saw that these were on sale on the Lime Crime website for $5. So of course, like any good practical YouTuber, I decided to pick up more shades. Let me show you these shades and you guys will see why I purchased them. I mean, you guys know I love a good brown lipsticks. So now I own 4 of these. I'm very excited to test these guys out. And let me tell you, the formula is so comfortable. I wanted these liquid lipsticks when they first launched. I just have so many liquid lipsticks. I was kind of on a low buy when I started this year off, and I think these launched towards the start of the year, and I had told myself no lipsticks. Like, I was not going to buy lipsticks this year because I have so many. Those plans kind of changed, but I'm so glad that I got to try the Lip Blaze formula because it's so good. I don't know if these are getting discontinued because I got the new shades for $5 on Lime Crime's website. But if you happen to be on Lime Crime's website and they have some available, especially for $5, I would highly recommend picking up more so you can get on the trend with me. Okay, now I want to mention 2 new highlighters to my collection that I'm absolutely loving. This one I'm wearing on my face today. This is Milk and Cookies by Glamlight. I'm not much of a loose highlighter bitch, but I freaking love this highlighter. I feel like my skin just looks wet and so natural. This color is perfect for my skin tone. So I would highly recommend, if you like a loose highlighter, check out Milk and Cookies. I do have a Glamlight code if you want to save some money. It is KH Makeup, but listen, just so you guys know, everything I'm including in this video, I'm talking about because I love it. It's not because I have a code or anything like that. I feel like I don't have to say that, but I would just like to say that so you guys know for sure that that's how it is on my channel, okay? Okay, this one is really new, but I just want to mention this. This is a Glamlight S'mores highlighting palette, and it's stunning. This highlighter graham cracker, it's so pretty. So I really feel like Glamlight has it going on with their highlighter formula. I'm very impressed. This is really new to my collection, so take it with a grain of salt. But so far, I'm loving this, and I'm definitely planning on wearing the heck out of this in 2021. Okay, guys, leave me a palm tree emoji if you have made it to this portion of my video, because I already feel like I've been talking for 8 hours, and we haven't even gotten to the eyeshadow palettes. Now, like I mentioned, I already did my 5 best eyeshadow palettes of 2020 as a collaboration for Vlogmas with my friend Yadi. So I would highly recommend checking out that video. I tried not to overlap because that would be such a waste of my time. So now I have the rest of my best palettes of 2020. I had to really narrow stuff down, guys. I was trying to mention the best of the best of the best palettes I've worn multiple times, not just stuff that I've tried and done first impressions of. I will not lie, I am definitely guilty of doing more first impressions than reviews on my channel, something I'm hoping to work on in 2021. But anyway, without any more disclaimers, let's get into it. So the first palette I want to talk about is the Juvia's Place Walhalla palette. Let me tell you, I had no idea this was coming, but once I got it, oh man, I am so impressed with this palette. I know Juvia's Place has launched quite a few palettes this year, but I think this is the go-to. This would be my #1 recommendation if you are looking to try Juvia's Place at this time. And it has a beautiful multi-chrome shade in it. I think there's a lot of colorful shadows. So if you like color or if you want to try something new, highly recommend the Walhalla palette. Sticking to Juvia's Place, I want to mention the other palette that I'm loving from them. It is the Nubian Royal palette. This is such a gorgeous palette. This metallic purple is so stunning. The mattes are so beautiful, and it's kind of cool that they've been doing more mini palettes. I think it's a fun way to try the brand. And I think mini palettes definitely have their place in the makeup community. I feel like in 2019, we were all buying massive palettes with like 30, 40 colors. And so it's been really fun to see these more curated color stories. And this is one of my favorite small palettes from 2020. I had to mention my drugstore favorite. This is the Profusion Emeralds palette. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this eyeshadow palette is only $5 at Walmart. If you guys haven't tried it yet, I don't know what you're doing with your lives. Please make sure you put this on your list of brands to try for 2020. I will be filming that video soon as well. This palette is gorgeous. It can honestly compete with all of the green palettes in my collection. I would repurchase this over and over again if I needed to. It's so good. This is my favorite $5 palette from Profusion. Okay, let's talk about Melt, baby. Let's talk about you and me. So I picked 3 of my favorite Melt palettes from this year. They had quite a few misses from 2020. Let's be real. But oh my gosh, this palette, I just dropped the plastic insert. This palette, the Waiting Room palette, this one scared me. But once I got it and I played with it, it's so good. It's so fun. I really like this. I didn't think that Melt could top their holiday launch from last year, but they sure did. They sure did. And I love the packaging. Of course, you guys know how much I love green eyeshadow, so there is no way I was going to say no to this one. I feel like green and purple eyeshadow palettes really had their moment in 2020. I'm hoping to see more of this color story in 2021 as well. I love this like neon plastic packaging. Melt can switch this any day and I would be totally fine with it. And then my favoriteest palette from Melt, you guys didn't think I wasn't going to mention, She's in Parties. This palette shocked me. Oh my gosh, I'm like missing a huge chunk of the eyeshadow too. This palette's a mess, okay? Melt has some fragile eyeshadows, I'm not gonna lie, but oh my gosh, the metallics are so glidey and smooth and beautiful. I feel like this palette is fall. I feel like this palette is date night. If those things sound appealing to you, I would highly recommend checking this out. This is the Divine Rose 2 palette. Everybody lost their mind because of that beautiful multi-chrome Sextraterrestrial. And of course, I picked it up in the limited edition packaging because, you know, Pat McGrath, she's my girl. So very, very excited to have that and recommend that to you guys. I think it's a fabulous Pat McGrath palette. I've been meaning to rank my Pat McGrath palettes for you guys. It was definitely an idea I had for 2020, but I think it's most likely you'll see that video in 2021. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already because you guys know I am a Pat McGrath bitch. Okay, of course I had to mention the Glamlight Ice Cream palette. This is so nice because I feel like this is the pastel palette for tan girls. I know pastels were like really the trend of 2019, 2020 summer time, and I want to love pastels, but pastels don't love me back. So when I saw that Glamlight was doing pastels, I was definitely excited. I could definitely get rid of like this part of this palette, but a lot of you had told me that you really like having those warm neutrals in this palette. So who am I to stop you? But oh my gosh, these 3 rows, these metallics, this palette is delicious. And it's so pretty, it's making me want to redo my eyeshadow look. Okay guys, let's give some neutral palettes some love. So I wanted to mention the Side by Side palette from Nabla. I picked this up in the Trend Mood box when they did a Trend Mood box takeover. Such a good deal. Oh my gosh. I didn't even think I was going to try a Trend Mood box this year. And I bought like 3 boxes from Trend Mood. So this palette is gorgeous. Nabla has an amazing formula. They have some mattes that feel so creamy and good and buttery. Their metallics are glidey and delicious and beautiful. And they even have some beautiful glitters in separate palettes. But I wanted to mention the Side by Side palette because I think it's such a great neutral palette recommendation from an Italian indie brand. And then my other neutral palettes, I have a few more neutrals actually. This isn't going to be the Best of Beauty by Karen Harris if I don't mention the Supreme Nudes by Artist Couture. I will say his other palettes that he's launched since this palette have not appealed to me, but this palette, oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. If I wasn't a YouTuber or interested in makeup, I feel like this would be like my go-to neutral palette, and I would have panned this by now, is my hope for the world. But oh, such a good neutral palette. Definitely worth picking up and gifting to a friend that loves neutrals. Okay, this one is new, but I must say that this one has shot up to my favorite Midas palette of all time. It's so pretty. I am a Midas affiliate, so this was sent to me. And you would have seen an eye look with this palette in my birthday Get Ready With Me. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend checking it out because it's that good, obviously. But this palette is so good, so easy to work with. I love this formula. I feel like this is a different formula from the other palettes that I'm used to from Midas. This one definitely feels more creamy. The metallics really glide on. So I'm so proud of the owner of Midas Cosmetics. She has been killing it this year, you guys. They had so many new makeup launches and oh my gosh, so many new product categories that are so fabulous for a small indie brand. But this little guy, oh my gosh, I love it so much. Okay, I'm getting close to the end of my eyeshadow palettes. I want to mention more neutrals. I have to give a shout out to the Naughty palette because I feel like this palette was the most trash talked palette of 2020. Everyone was going on about the shade Slippery, okay? But look past Slippery and let me show you just a very beautiful burgundy color story. This palette reminds me so much of fall and the holidays. I think it came out at a perfect time. I did pick up the ColourPop wine palette mostly for a giveaway and because I wanted to hit like free shipping, but that's a story for another day. I feel like that palette may be a dupe to this one, but this palette has some beautiful duochromes. This shade Passion is so pretty. It's like a burgundy. It's actually like a blue brown. It's not really a brown. It's more like a blue burgundy shade, but it's so stunning on the lids. So I really like this. You guys know I love me some Huda Beauty. Okay, is she a perfect person? Absolutely not. Is her brand perfect? Absolutely not, but I still like this palette. So I'm definitely including it in my best of beauty 2020. Okay, I want to give this an honorable mention. I feel like Beauty Bay really fucking like stumped me this year. I was not expecting good quality from this palette. Well, that's a lie. I was expecting decent quality, but I feel like for $15, even if they charged me $45 for this palette, I would have bought this because, listen, this color story is me in a palette. Like, greens and purples or purples and blues are so stunning. I feel like, seriously, if I was going to do a collaboration, it's going to be those colors. So if you don't like it, I guess you don't want me to have a collab. But you know what? We're all about manifesting positivity on this channel. So I love this so much. The metallics are beautiful. I love this way more than the Nikkie Tutorials palette that they came out with. I feel like Nikkie really missed an opportunity to come out with something that was a little bit more concise, honestly. But oh my gosh, this is so good. And you can usually get this on sale. I saw like this week, because I'm filming this over Christmas break, I think I saw this palette was like $10 maybe. So it's so good. I would highly recommend checking it out. I am going to be doing a testing out Beauty Bay, like a full face of Beauty Bay makeup in a upcoming video. So if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so I can tell you if the Beauty Bay makeup line is tan girl friendly. Okay, I became a Sigma bitch this year. Okay, it all started with the Corte Rosa palette. Oh my gosh, I was so unsure about this palette because, let me tell you why. Back in the day, I had gone to a Sigma store and I bought an eyeshadow palette. Kind of looked like this palette. If I can find a picture of it online somewhere, I'll put a picture of it so you guys can see it. But I'm sure I did a video with it back in the day, probably in like 2012, 13, 14, I don't know. Anyway, that palette was cocky, okay? It was shit. Okay, so I have been scared of Sigma since then because I was like, you know what? I don't think Sigma makeup is that great. Well, let me tell you, I bought the Corte Rosa and my tune changed so fast. I bought the Enchanted palette in like lickety-split second. And then, oh my gosh, when I saw the Grungy Rainbow, that is the Untamed palette, I about lost my mind. I'm so glad that Sigma launched this palette. It's so beautiful. And then the best thing that happened was that the owner of Sigma saw my video and she put me on the Sigma PR list. And that is probably one of my highlights of 2020. listen, I love every brand that I get PR from. I love collaborating with brands, but Sigma, special place in my heart because she is an immigrant and Sigma is like 4 hours away from where I live, okay? That's as close as I'm gonna get to like Too Faced ever. Because let's be real, it seems like all the big brands are based in bigger cities. So it just means a lot to me that a brand so close to where I actually live is recognizing me and hyping me up, and they've sent me some amazing products. I got their holiday collection, so many good things. But if I had to pick for makeup that came out in 2020, these two are fabulous. I also love the Essentials palette, but I recognize that that palette is like hella neutral. So I decided to feature the Untamed and the Quarter Rosa in my 2020 Best of Beauty. Okay guys, we're almost done. I just want to highlight a few brands that are like my favorite indie eyeshadows. I feel like these are all single eyeshadows, but I kind of put these lethal ones in the middle because you can get them as eyeshadow palettes, but you can also get them as singles. So I have two of their collections. This is their newest collection, Lethal Cosmetics Velvet Dusk, I think this is called. And this color story, oh my god, I love this color story. It's so grungy. And they also did this one, I believe this is called their After Dark palette. And I like this one, but I really like Velvet Dusk because this one is definitely more of a pastel color story. But I love some grungy eyeshadows, so I would pick this one, but you can also make your own palette. On Lethal, I want to do a full Lethal Cosmetics eyeshadow palette swatch video. I'm hoping to get that done sometime this week while I'm on break from work. Is of course Clionadh Stained Glass. I wanted to mention because they have launched more colors to the stained glass line. These are some other multi-chromes, but the vibrant multi-chromes they launched in like January this year. I think they're still having a sale, or they did like a big restock or something. So you could probably pre-order these, but oh my gosh, I would highly recommend. Listen, come a little closer when I tell you this. I know there's a lot of amazing eyeshadow palettes and things like that out there. And I know not everybody has thousands of dollars to spend on makeup. But if you already feel like you have every eyeshadow on the planet, just save your money. Just save your money. Just save it. Save it and save it and save it until you can't save it anymore. And then go to Clionahd's website and spend it, because these eyeshadows are honestly just unique. You will hear many YouTubers that have stained glass shadows recommend these over and over again. And it's because they're unique and gorgeous. So I have no regrets on the amount of money I've spent just on these few shadows. I would love to get more, honestly. I was at their restock adding things to my cart and such, but I was like, you know what? I don't even use the ones I have enough, so I'm definitely planning on doing more build my own palettes in 2021. I want to do more curated palettes with my singles, so something to look forward to. Let me know if that sounds interesting to you guys, but oh my gosh, at least one bundle from the stained glass collection. I know Angie has a favorites bundle. I would highly recommend. It's $100, but it'll probably be the most unique eyeshadows you ever own for $100. Plus, Clionadh is a Canadian indie brand. All the money you guys spend in indie brands, I'm sure helps them out because, of course, it helps support their family, their business, which is a huge deal, especially in these tough times. Okay, more indie brands I love. So Terra Moon, I really tried these in like 2020. I got the Chameleons and then started my love affair with them. They also sent me their El Barrio palette, which is beautiful, you guys. But listen, these eyeshadows from them are gorgeous. Anything with the word chameleon, I would highly recommend. This is my favorite palette from them. I do have some Divinas in here as well. I have the Sugar Drop collection, but these are all my chameleon shadows. These are expensive. Don't get me wrong, but they are so worth it. Like if you're looking for unique eyeshadows, I would highly recommend Terra Moon, Divina, and Clionadh. Those are like my current favorites. And of course, Sydney Grace. How could I forget Sydney Grace? Okay, speaking of Sydney Grace, I did grab some new singles they launched this summer. These were sent to me. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful to be on Sydney Grace's PR list, you guys, because their single eyeshadows are fabulous. Before I ended up on their PR list, I have like big palettes full of their singles. Like I said, I want to do more curating palettes because I have so many beautiful shadows from Sydney Grace that I want to showcase. But these were the ones they launched for their Christmas in July sale, and they are so fabulous and beautiful. I would anticipate that a lot of you were expecting me to mention Mel Thompson's collab with Sydney Grace. I was sent the Tiny Marvels palette. I do think it's beautiful. Here's the thing, hear me out. Hear me out before you start typing on your keyboard. I think it's a beautiful palette. I just don't love it for my skin tone. That's the only reason. Like, I feel like if that matte green was a little bit more punchy and that purple was a little bit more of a deeper purple, I would have really, really been sent over the edge with that palette. But it's a beautiful palette. I love that I have it. The quality is amazing, just like everything else Sydney Grace makes, but the color story just didn't do it for me, so I just will always love and adore their singles. So I wanted to mention their single shadows because the formula is amazing and you don't need to spend a lot of money. You can just spend a little bit of money and curate for yourself a little bundle like this, and then you'll have everything you need. I got these palettes, by the way, from ColourPop. These are on sale on ColourPop's website for like $3. So I'll try and remember to link them for you in case you're interested in picking them up, because I thought that was a fabulous deal. And then of course, I had already mentioned, but I did pick these up from Divina. I bought a bunch of other stuff from them too, but this was the bundle that they launched on Black Friday, and it's beautiful. I can't remember what this collection was called, but listen, if you give me greens and blues, single shadows, I'm gonna lose my mind. So these are gorgeous. Again, I love Divina. I will say this over and over again. If you want fabulous single shadows, Divina, Cleona, Sydney Grace, Lethal Cosmetics, Terra Moon, oh my gosh, I love all of those brands so much. I've gotten to work with a few of them this year, so I'm extremely grateful. But that is it, guys. That is my Best of Beauty 2020. I did this all in one take. I don't know how long it's going to take me to edit this video, but it was so fun. I'm sure I missed so many things, so I do apologize. I'm not going to do a skincare favorites because I haven't really tried that many exciting skincare things. I thought about including brushes in this video, but I don't feel like I have like a big brush collection from many different brands. But the brushes I mentioned in my videos, the ones I'm always holding up and showing you guys and using in my demos, those are like my favorite brushes. Anyway, I'm not gonna go on and on and on. This was so fun to film. Let me know your favorites down in the comment section. I did do a worst of 2020 get ready with me style video. That was really fun. That was a collab with my friend Angie. We basically did a full face with our worst makeup of 2020. So I will try and remember to link that down in the description box so you guys can check that out in case you want to know what products you should avoid buying from this year. And yeah, thank you guys so much again for a fabulous 2020. You guys know that I love making YouTube videos. I really appreciate you guys hanging with me, and I will see you in my next video soon. Bye guys!